The good news is, Jigsaw isn't the worst horror movie of the year. The bad news is, it's still bad enough that that's the good news. The long-running Saw series has been one of the most consistent horror franchises on the market. If you were watching these movies to see crazy murder machines and an absurdly intricate storyline, you were probably happy every single time. But it's been 7 years since the so-called final chapter, and it seems as though the people behind Jigsaw have forgotten how these movies work.
I'm sure you're all wondering why you're here. You deny culpability, no doubt, for the circumstances in which you find yourself.
The new death traps fail to stand out against the other devices in the series, and the story of John Kramer and his army of acolytes has been swept aside for one that plays like a side note in a much grander tale. The plot is cobbled together from leftover pieces of Saw, Saw 5, and whatever else was lying around the franchise's workshed. Normally, that would be just fine. If you were trying to assemble a Saw movie, you'd find all the basic components right here in Jigsaw. But if you were paying attention, you would realize that the finesse required to make this machinery function is missing. The previous movies were filmed with an eye for seedy showmanship. They seemed to take place in a particularly nasty neighborhood, where every floor was covered in grime and Jigsaw's arsenal of traps felt very much at home. Jigsaw feels sterile and objective, and that approach fails to put the audience in the position of the victims. We stare at them, interested but not invested, because the filmmakers aren't putting forth any effort to make this bizarre sequence of events seem visceral and horrifying. What may be worse is that for the first time, it feels like the makers of a Saw movie aren't even interested in their own game. The deaths never pull the rug out from under us and cackle with mean-spirited glee. Instead, Jigsaw goes through the basic motions, never showing much interest in what made the franchise so dynamic in the first place. It's a by-the-numbers sequel in a series that previously had a heck of a lot more pizzazz.
Salvation can be yours. An offering of blood will set you free.
Jigsaw barely feels like a part of the Saw franchise. It has death traps, but takes no pleasure in presenting them. If it wasn't part of the franchise, it would play like a knockoff, the kind that looks like the real deal at a distance, but can't stand up to scrutiny. Thanks for watching. Make sure to watch our breakdown of the entire Saw storyline so far, and for more on the latest entries in famous horror franchises, be sure to watch our review for Cult of Chucky. And don't forget to like and subscribe to IGN on all your favorite platforms.